For the last Monday Night Raw until Money in the Bank, we get a recycled show that we've seen for the past 4 weeks. As viewers, we understand that CM Punk and Seth Rollins are not friends. You don't have to show week to week CM Punk jumping Seth Rollins or Seth Rollins group jumping CM Punk. Like, we understand. They've been beefing for over a year now. Right? Can we show any other way of maybe them beefing besides interrupting a match? Right? Maybe the group, Seth Rollins group, jumping CM Punk in the parking lot. Like, that would feel more real than them just jumping them in a fucking fake match. I'm sorry. You know how in the opening of the shows, they have every superstar basically walk from the parking lot? That's when you can do that. Right? The opening of a show. They say, CM Punk is here. CM Punk's going to do this and that. He's going to have a promo at the end of the show. Have them jump CM Punk while he's walking from the parking lot. Like, it's just that simple. And I'm just tired of seeing the same shit every week. And it's on both shows. It's not like it's just a Monday Night Raw thing. It's also SmackDown. We're watching the same shows every week. The same shit happens every week. The same interferences happen every single week. And I had hope for this new faction, for the new Seth Rollins faction. I had hope. They brought in Bronson Reed, which was pretty cool, but they didn't really make sense of it. Bronson Reed, the last time we saw him, he was beating up Seth Rollins, right? So now he's coming back, and they're joining as friends. It doesn't really make sense, and didn't really make sense of it, okay? Now, secondly, the other characters aren't prominent characters. Like, Braun Breaker, I don't think he said a word. He might have just said, oh, I'm mad. And then Seth Rollins is like, it's okay, we have him where we want him. Like, that's Braun Breaker's thing. Just, Bronson Reed, I haven't heard him say anything either. And these, like I said, Bronson Reed just was coming from beating up Seth Rollins. And the fact that he's not a bigger character in this storyline, it just doesn't make sense. Now, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. I want to go in order from the opening of the show to the main event. Now, let's dive in. Now, we start off with a great CM Punk promo. He basically calls out The Rock and John Cena, calling The Rock a bald-headed fraud goof, which is amazing. And, just talk shit on The Rock. I can listen to it all day. Sami Zayn comes out. He says to CM Punk, "You're our last hope," and basically, hyping him up. But then says, if you win that briefcase or you have a championship, this conversation would have went a little bit differently. So, whatever. It's kind of leading to maybe CM Punk and Sami Zayn having a feud in the future, which I wouldn't mind. I just would hope one of them is heel, right? I don't want to see two baby faces again. I feel like that's like a very common thing that they like to do. No. Turn Sami heel or turn CM Punk heel. Probably Sami, I would think, because he's talking with Karrion Kross 1 minute every fucking Raw. But let's go to the next segment. We then have a segment with Liv Morgan and, what's her name? Io Sky. There we go. Our women's champion. I forget she's champion because she's not doing shit, okay? She basically shows up in a backstage segment and just says nothing. That's literally what she's been doing this whole entire title reign. She's had this title for over a month. I can't remember a match she's had. I can't even remember one fucking match, guys. She probably hasn't had a match, but I can't remember it. Okay? For all the EO stands, I'm sorry, I just can't get behind it. I can't. Liv Morgan basically says, if I win the Money in the Bank, I'm going to cash in on you. And then EO, I don't even know what she said. She actually says, not going to happen, in Japanese and in English. So, we got both of the worlds there. Liv Morgan said, watch me, and there we go. We wrap up that fucking segment. We then get a triple threat qualifying match for the Money in the Bank for the women's. We see Stephanie Vaquer, and I'm pretty sure this is her debut. And, I'm a huge fan of Stephanie. I think she's great in the ring. Obviously, her mic needs a little bit of work, but she, with how good she's in the ring, I think it can equal out, right? She went against Ivy Nile and Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Vaquer ends up winning, which I'm happy for. We then get a backstage segment with AJ Styles and Paul Heyman, and this was a little weird, right? Paul Heyman basically just says, don't win the Money in the Bank, go for the mid-card title, and we won't jump you. That's basically what Paul Heyman was saying. AJ Styles was like, I know what a threat is. You're just trying to threaten me right now. Sorry. And basically just declines whatever fucking offer Paul Heyman was trying to give him, and kind of, suns him on the way out. It gives him a pat on the back. Paul Heyman, that type of shit. Now, this was the first time not seeing Carlito with the Judgment Day. And I know Carlito was not he wasn't a huge character in the Judgment Day, but he was just, I don't know. For me, he was that comedic relief, right? He always had that apple. He was playing video games in the back, didn't know how to even use the fucking controller. Like, just things like that. I know Carlito didn't have any type of run, right? And Carlito was jacked, right? If you look at Carlito and you look at Dominic Mysterio, you would probably think Dominic is his son, okay? Now, in the show, there's a lot of R-Truth chants as well. And I was just very happy to hear that, right? A lot of people supported R-Truth. A lot of people want to see him back. I don't think they're going to bring him back just because they hear some chants. But, you know, it's nice to hear, and especially for R-Truth, it's probably nice for him to hear people chant his name, you know? So I just wanted to bring that up because there was a lot of R-Truth chants. I'm pretty sure they were probably trying to mute him in TV because who the fuck wants to just hear, we want R-Truth through every fucking segment. But, you know, that's what the fans did, and I can respect that. Next, we get another Rusev vignettes, and I'm enjoying these vignettes, but maybe I think the WWE has this out of order, right? When they brought back Rusev, I think, in my opinion, and I think this is, I don't know if this is common sense, maybe they wanted to have a shock reveal, I guess, but I would have had these vignettes before we debuted Rusev, right? Because these vignettes are good, right? He's basically saying, Sheamus, why the fuck are you mad? Tozawa was out there in catering doing nothing every single week. I gave him an opportunity to be in that ring. That's basically what Rusev is saying. I saved him. I'm bringing back, I'm reviving these guys' careers. And I get they want to introduce his character to the fans, but you should have done this before you debuted him. Because now we're waiting for him. We're waiting, and every week we get a fucking vignette that basically says the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, it's probably going to die down. People are going to stop caring about these vignettes. So, you know, I would have had Rusev come out in the ring, said what he said in that vignette. That would have hit 10 times harder. People respect, I think, in my opinion, at least this is just for me, when someone comes out in that ring and cuts a good promo by himself and then he dips, you're going to get some fan base. You're going to get, you know, some fans are going to get behind you. They'll be like, wow, I can believe in this character. Rusev is that type of guy. I think they should have just put him in that ring. Whatever he said in that vignette, he says in that ring. We then get a backstage promo with Sheamus, and Sheamus is with the Alpha Academy. He basically says, A for effort, Alpha Academy. Good job. At least you tried. That's basically what he said. You have great heart. And they leave. And then Kathy Kelly says, Rusev was talking about you in this promo. And Sheamus just says, you know, Rusev was a good friend of mine. Rusev was at my wedding, right? But he's a bully. And I bully bullies. And there we go. I'm just happy Sheamus isn't doing the same shit every week, right? I feel like it was like 4 weeks straight where he was like beefing with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory for no fucking reason. So I'm happy he's at least doing something meaningful. Now, we then get the Judgment Day versus War Raiders, and they had the New Day on commentary. And I just got to say, the New Day on commentary, it's just gold. It's amazing. That was probably the best part of the show, was listening to the New Day on commentary. And then they get kicked out because, I don't even know why they got kicked out of commentary. I think because they stood up, and then the ref was like, no, we're not doing this shit today. Kicks them out. It was a pretty good match between the War Raiders and Judgment Day. Roxanne actually ended up helping the Judgment Day, helping Finn Balor get the pin. So I'm happy that Finn Balor is finally getting pins. He is finally getting wins. And everything is going on track for him, right? We then get a backstage segment with the New Day, Grayson Waller. New Day giving Grayson Waller some veteran advice, you know? Telling them, you know, look what we did to Biggie. We took him out of the equation, and look at us. We're champions. You need to do the same thing. Get rid of Austin Theory. He's dragging you down. And it seems like Grayson Waller took note of this and was like, thanks for that advice. While he walks away, the Creed brothers come up and basically say, why are you manipulating us? You said brothers stick together. New Day said, whoa, we didn't say brothers. We said brothers. There's a difference. And there is a difference, right? Now, this was a good segment because the Creed brothers finally are showing some grit, showing some emotion and saying, You're worried about every other tag team. You're worried about the War Raiders, the Judgment Day, but you should be worried about the Creed brothers because we're going to take that. I think this was a good segment, especially showcasing the different tag teams on this division, right? Like, the division is definitely heating up now. I think the New Day is doing a pretty solid job, right? Like, they're not booked in the way that they're felt important, but whenever I see them on the screen, I feel like it's just It's captivating. The War Raiders wouldn't be able to do the stuff that the New Day is doing. You know what I mean? Like, the New Day can easily put over a tag team like the Creed brothers and make them feel important. I don't think the War Raiders can do the same for the Creed brothers. So yeah, this was a decent, I'll say good, alright? This was a good episode for the Raw Tag Team division. Hopefully they can keep it up. Oof. Now for the next segment, we have Becky and Lara Valkyria. Now, I've said this in the past, and I'm going to keep saying it. I keep cringing when I hear Lara talk. I can't. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I just cringe so hard. And I think it's also the what chance. Like, Lara Valkyria is talking, and she's trying to be serious. And after every sentence, you hear, what? Every fucking sentence. What? No one cares. The fans don't care. The fans are saying what? Whenever you hear that, that means they don't give a fuck, or at least that's what I interpret it as. Like, if I'm yelling what between what the fuck you're saying, I don't give a shit. I don't care. What? Next. That's basically what that means. Next. So I'll go to the next segment. We then get a tag match between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Now, this match ended up in a disqualification by Seth Rollins, and then they just beat them up after the match, right? They have Sami Zayn on top of the announcement table. Looks like they want to tsunami him through the announcement table, but that's when CM Punk comes to save the day with a chair and basically chases them down. Now, Braun Breaker is visibly upset. And this is when Seth Rollins says, we got them where we want them. Now we have the Judgment Day segment, and we've seen this Judgment Day segment before. Remember when Liv Morgan was first introduced into the Judgment Day, and, Rhea Ripley was a little jealous, Damian Priest was a little jealous, didn't want her in there. But Liv Morgan got them tag team opportunities, got them this, got them that, helped them win. The same thing as Roxanne's doing the same shit, right? Liv Morgan is jealous of her. Liv Morgan is the only one not winning, right? She's not being helped by Roxanne, but Roxanne is helping everyone else. We've seen this story before, and we're seeing it again. So, at least Finn Balor is getting wins. At least Finn Balor looks like, not the leader, but he looks like he is enjoying what is happening. And I think, I've just seen Finn Balor lose so much recently that it's nice to finally see him win at least a match, right? I'm not asking him to be a champion. I'm just asking him to feel important. That's it. We then get the same segment we've been getting for the past 5 months, right? We get Karrion Kross basically trying to turn Sami Zayn into a heel, right? Saying, you're not a good guy. You're a bad guy, right? But Sami Zayn is like, oh, but what if you're wrong? And then Karrion Kross is like, but what if I'm right? Like, can we please prolong the story? Can we please find an understanding of what the fuck the story even is? Right? Like, Sami Zayn keeps saying, I don't want to be a heel. Karrion Kross keeps saying, I want you to be a heel. Okay, what are we going to do about it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this shit keeps happening. I don't want to see every fucking Raw the same fucking conversation. I want to see Karrion Kross, but not him saying the same shit every single week. He says the same shit and it's to the same person. Like, bro, Sami Zayn is obviously not listening to you, my guy. And then he will, right? He's going to do this for 2 more months, and then Sami Zayn's finally going to crack. He's going to lose his next match, and then he's finally going to listen to Karrion Kross. That's what's going to happen, right? We don't have to wait a fucking year for that to happen, Triple H. Like, it could literally happen in one show. It could all happen in one show. And then we can sit there and be like, wow, what a fucking show. Sami Zayn is now a heel. But no, we have to wait. We have to wait over 5 months for Sami Zayn to turn. It's just stupid. We then get a segment between Jey Uso and Gunther, and Gunther sits next to Jey Uso at I think they're in the locker room or something. Gunther's like, I see you want to be a good champion. I obviously see that you're trying as hard as you can, but you're just not capable of being a champion. That's basically what he's saying, right? He said, I want my champion back. That is personal to me, and I will get it back. Yeet basically looks like, sorry, not Yeet. I call him, Jey Uso. There we go. Jey Uso basically looks like he wants to take a shit throughout this whole conversation. He doesn't say anything until the end, and he says, I have 4 words for you, Gunther. Yeet. And then we end this segment. I think he's probably the worst champion I've ever seen in my life. Like, I will never understand why people actually support him the way they do. Bro, you can find fans that go to the show that have better promo skills than Jey Uso. Like, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. You can find fans from the show that have better promo skills than Jey. I don't want to constantly say this every single video, but like, damn, Jey Uso just is not good. He's not. He's a mid-wrestler that should be in the mid-card or a tag team division. Now on to the main event. We have CM Punk, AJ Styles, and El Grande Americano. Like I said in the beginning, El Grande wins this match because Braun Strowman and I keep calling him Braun Strowman. What the fuck is his name? Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. There we go. Holy fuck. They ended up beating up CM Punk, distracting CM Punk, causing him not to win this match. Same with AJ Styles. AJ Styles just distracted himself, basically, which caused him to be the one who got pinned. Now, I said this before. I'd rather them just push Chad Gable instead of him being this lucha mask guy. But I guess the fans love it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but the fans like it, so who am I to really talk? In my opinion, not a great way to end the show. It was just an all-out brawl between Seth's faction and just the other people. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. NXT is tonight. I'm not going to make a review of NXT, but I will be dropping a video tomorrow, maybe talking about NXT, but also talking about the main roster. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.